Tire tube repair has been around as long as the Model T. Using Tech products, tube repair can be a quick and simple procedure on bias and radial tubes. These are the Tech products and tools we will be referring to during our repair. The first step in any tube injury repair is to thoroughly inspect the tube. After the injury is located, outline the injury using a Tech marking crayon. The next step is to buttonhole the injury. Buttonholing will prevent the injury from tearing out from underneath the tube repair unit after it is applied. A paper punch can be used to buttonhole the injury, or any sharp cutting tool, such as scissors, a leather punch, or knife. Next, select a Tech two-way tube repair unit large enough to adequately cover the tube injury. The repair unit diameter should extend at least 1/2 inch or 12 millimeters beyond the injury in all directions. Apply Tech Rub-O-Matic to a clean cloth. Then clean the injury and surrounding area with Tech Rub-O-Matic. Make sure the cloth is clean to assure that the injury remains free of any foreign dirt or chemicals. Also, make sure an area is cleaned large enough to accept the repair unit to prevent any dirt from being spread over the repair area. Another equally effective way to clean the injured area is by mechanical buffing. Here we are using a Tech S1036 low RPM buffer with an S2032 rubber hog buffing wheel. After buffing, remove the buffing dust to obtain a clean surface. Now apply Tech chemical vulcanizing fluid to the prepared surface. Do not apply chemical vulcanizing fluid to any uncleaned areas. While the vulcanizing fluid is drying, take the opposite corners of the blue polyethylene and peel the backing away from repair unit as shown, being careful not to touch the gray cushion gum. Center the repair unit over the injury on the tube. Remove the blue polyethylene and gently thumb the repair unit to the tube. Next, using a Tech stitching tool, stitch the repair unit by rolling the stitching tool across repair from the center out. The stitching process removes any air pockets that may form between the repair unit and the tube. After stitching, remove the clear polyethylene covering from the top of the repair unit. Now, inflate the tube. To ensure proper application and check for leaks, use Tech Check as shown, or use Tech Check in a dip tank. Apply Tech tire talc to the repair area. This prevents the gray edge of the cushion gum on the repair unit from vulcanizing to the tire's inner surface. The tube is now ready for service. Finally, inspect the tire and repair it if needed to prevent additional damage to the tube. Yes, the tube repair has been around since the Model T. Proper tube repair is still a valuable skill to know. Many of today's trucks and even cars have tubes. Knowing how to repair them can be very profitable for you. This demonstration is on the 251 Uniseal for steel radial constructed passenger and truck tires. These are the Tech products and accessories we will be using for this demonstration. The Uniseal repair is the ultimate repair for tires. Both the stem and cap are covered with a layer of cushion gum, which allows both stem and cap to vulcanize to the tire. Careful inspection is of major importance to ensure a safely repaired tire. Inspection will determine if the tire needs more than one repair unit, or if it is not repairable due to conditions such as run flat, low air pressure, or ply separation. After locating the injury, mark the area with a Tech marking crayon. And remove the injuring object. Using a Tech spiral cementing tool number 915, probe the injury to determine its angle. If the angle exceeds 15 degrees beyond perpendicular, a two-piece uniseal must be used. After the spiral cement tool has been removed, apply Tech Rubomatic aerosol number 704A to the injured area. While the area is still moist, use the Tech 933 scraper to scrape the injured area to remove silicones, lubricants, or contaminating substances. This is one of several systems that can be used to clean the injured area. The important thing to remember is the area must be cleaned. Removal of these substances prevents contamination of the buffing wheel during the mechanical buffing operations. After the area has been cleaned, take the proper size repair unit, in this case a Tech 251 uniseal, since the injury in this tire is 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters. Outline the injured area approximately 1/2 inch or 15 millimeters beyond the edge of the repair unit using a Tech marking crayon. Next, using an S2030 rubber hog buffing wheel on a Tech S1036 low RPM air buffer, mechanically buff the previously outlined area. Mechanical buffing ensures proper adhesion of the repair unit to the tire by creating a clean, smooth, velvet textured area. When buffing is completed, vacuum the buffing dust from the interior of tire. To prepare the injured area, use a Tech number 271 carbide cutter on a Tech S1035 500 RPM air drill equipped with a Tech S1045 quick change chuck attached. The quick change chuck is used for fast removal of rasps, cones, and cutters. Any low RPM drill with a maximum of 1200 RPM can be used in this process. Following the direction of the injury, cut from the inside out using a clockwise rotation. It may be necessary to repeat this process at least 3 times depending on tire thickness. This procedure must also be repeated on the outside of the tire to assure proper injury preparation. Excessive drilling can result in a hole that is too large. Clean the area using Rubomatic on a clean, lint-free cloth. Now, using the Tech spiral cementing tool, thoroughly cement the injury using Tech vulcanizing fluid. With the applicator brush, apply a light coat to the previously cleaned area as well. Allow the vulcanizing fluid to dry completely. While the vulcanizing fluid is drying, place a wire puller in the middle of the black exposed portion of the stem of the 251 uniseal repair unit. Then remove the blue polyethylene from the stem portion. Now remove the blue poly from the cap and reposition it onto the cap. This prevents the cushion gum from prematurely sticking or adhering to the previously cemented area of the tire while the unit is being pulled into place. Apply Tech chemical vulcanizing fluid to the area of the uniseal that comes in contact with the eye of the wire puller. Hold the repair unit horizontally so the cement will not run onto the gray cushion gum. Then immediately push the end of the wire puller through the injured area. Next, from the outside of the tire, grasp the wire puller and carefully begin to pull the uniseal through the tire. When the wire puller pulls off the end of the uniseal, grasp the stem with your hand or pliers and pull the uniseal into place. Once the uniseal is in place, thumb the repair unit down. Then stitch the uniseal cap down with a stitcher to remove any air that might be trapped between the cushion gum and the inner liner of the tire. Always remember to stitch the area from the center out. Finally, remove the blue poly. Thumb, stitch, remove the clear polyethylene. Next, go to the outside of the tire and cut off the uniseal stem approximately 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters above the surface of the tire. This applies only to 250 and 251 uniseals. The uniseal stem is now properly in place. When repairing a tube-type tire, Tech Tire Talc must be used to prevent the edge of the gray cushion gum from adhering to the tube. When repairing tubeless tires, as we are in this case, Security Coat should be applied to the over-buff area to assure good air retention. In a short time, Security Coat will turn black, indicating that it is completely dry. Uniseal repairs, when correctly applied in the tread, shoulder, or sidewall areas of passenger and truck tires, both bias and radial, assure a permanent leak-proof repair that will give your customer many more miles of safe travel. This demonstration is on the 251-1 stem and repair unit method. The following procedure applies to all two-piece repair units for steel radial constructed tires. These are the tech products and accessories used for the two-piece repair method. The two-piece repair system is the ultimate repair method for angled injuries, as well as straight-through injuries. One-piece uniseals or radial seals should never be used when the injury angle exceeds 25 degrees. The stem and repair unit are covered with a layer of gray cushion gum, which allows both the stem and repair unit to vulcanize to themselves and to the tire. Careful inspection is of major importance to ensure a safe repaired tire. Inspection will determine if the tire has more than one injury, the size of the injury, or if it is not repairable due to conditions such as run flat, low air pressure, or ply separation. After locating the injury, mark the area with a Tech marking crayon and continue the inspection. After final inspection, remove the injuring object. Use a number 915 Tech spiral cement tool to probe the injury to determine its size and angle. The injury has accepted the spiral portion of the cement tool, which means a 271 cutter must be used. A method to find the size and angle of the injury is shown here. On the left, note that the injury will only accept the tapered portion of the spiral cement tool, which indicates the use of a 270 cutter. On the right, the injury has accepted the spiral portion of the cement tool, which indicates use of a 271 cutter. Also note the angle. If the angle exceeds 25 degrees beyond perpendicular, a two-piece repair system must be used. Now, refer to the Syntec radial repair chart to determine the proper size repair unit. We know our tire size is 11R24.5. We know it's a crown injury. And our injury size is 1/4 inch, or 6 millimeters. So we refer to the radial repair crown section of the chart, where we see the red number indicates the proper Syntec repair unit is a CT12. The guidelines placed at right angles to the injury during inspection assist in centering the repair unit. Center the predetermined Syntec repair unit directly over the injury and mark 1 inch or 25 millimeters around its perimeter. Apply number 704A Tech Rubomatic aerosol to the area being repaired. While the area is still moist, use the Tech 933 scraper to clean the injured area of lubricants, silicones, and other contaminating substances. Removal of these substances prevents contamination of the buffing wheel during the mechanical buffing operations. To prepare the injured area, use the Tech 271 carbide cutter with an S1041 adapter on a Tech S1035 500 RPM air drill equipped with a Tech S1045 quick change chuck for fast replacement. Following the direction of the injury, cut from the inside out using a clockwise rotation. Repeat this process at least 3 times. Any low RPM drill with a maximum of 1200 RPMs can be used in this process. This procedure must also be repeated on the outside of the tire to assure proper injury preparation. Excessive drilling can result in a hole that is too large. Now the area must be vacuumed, both inside and outside the tire, to remove steel shavings and buffing dust. Using the Tech Spiral Cement tool, cement the injury from the inside using Tech vulcanizing fluid, a minimum of 3 times. Leave the spiral cement tool in place when finished cementing. Place the wire puller in the middle of the black exposed portion of the 251-1 stem. Then remove the blue polyethylene. Apply Tech chemical vulcanizing fluid to the area of the stem that comes in contact with the eye of the wire puller. Remove the spiral cement tool and immediately push the end of the wire puller through the injured area. From the outside of the tire, grasp the wire puller and pull the stem through the tire. When the wire pulls off the end of the stem, grasp the stem with pliers and carefully pull the stem through the tire until approximately 3/8 of an inch or 9 millimeters of the gray cushion gum is exposed on the outside. Next, using the 942 Tech Flexible Skiving Knife, go to the inside of the tire and cut off the stem, approximately 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters above the surface of the inner liner. Now, using an RH-106 rubber hog buffing wheel on a Tech low RPM air buffer, mechanically buff the stem flush with the inner liner. Next, mechanically buff within the previously outlined area. Mechanical buffing ensures proper adhesion of the repair unit to the tire by creating a clean, smooth, velvet-textured surface. When buffing is completed, vacuum the buffing dust from the interior of the tire. Using number 704 Rubomatic and a clean lint-free cloth, thoroughly clean the buffed area. When finished, allow the area to dry completely, normally 3 to 4 minutes. Depending on weather conditions, such as high humidity, additional drying time may be necessary. Notice the outline of gray cushion gum that will vulcanize to the tire and seal the injury. Apply a thin, even coat of Tech number 760 chemical vulcanizing fluid. Always apply the vulcanizing fluid from the center out. Do not cement beyond the cleaned, buffed area. Allow 3 to 5 minutes for the vulcanizing fluid to dry. Extended drying time may be needed under adverse weather conditions. Make sure the beads of the tire are in a relaxed position before installing the Syntec repair unit. Now, break the perforation of the blue poly backing on the repair unit. Peel the blue poly approximately halfway back. To avoid contamination, be careful not to touch the gray cushion gum. Center the repair unit directly over the injury, aligning the repair unit bead arrow with either bead of the tire. Place the center of the repair down first. Press down the center with thumb and then stitch. Remove the remainder of the blue poly, then thumb and stitch from the center out. Next, remove the clear poly from the Syntec repair unit. In the event that the radial tire is of tube-type construction, apply number 706 Tech Tire Talc to prevent the gray cushion gum edge of the repair unit from vulcanizing to the tube. When repairing a tubeless tire, as in this case, apply security coat around the edge of the repair unit to ensure good air retention to the exposed buffed area. Security coat will dry to a black coloring. Go to the outside of the tire and cut off the remaining portion of the stem approximately 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters above the surface of the tire. This applies to only the 250-1 and 251-1 stems. The two-piece repair system can be used for both angled and straight-through injuries. This repair method is becoming extremely popular with the tire industry because of its simplicity, while still providing a professional, permanent repair which can be retreaded. This procedure will use a Tech 292 radial seal to repair a steel radial constructed truck tire. These are the Tech products and accessories required for this demonstration. Tech has pioneered radial seal repairs, which accommodate injuries up to 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters in radial tires. The Tech radial seal system has an exclusive reinforced cap and newly designed carbide cutters. Tech's 291/38 radial seal and 271/38 carbide cutter are used to repair 3/8 inch or 9 millimeter injuries. The 292 radial seal and corresponding 272 cutter repair 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter injuries. The radial seal system eliminates the need for lengthy full section repairs. Careful inspection is very important to ensure a safely repaired tire. Inspection will determine if the tire has more than one injury, the size of the injury, or if it is not repairable due to conditions such as run flat or ply separation. After locating the injury, mark the injured area on the inside with a Tech marking crayon. Also, mark the injury on the outside of the tire and continue the inspection. Next, remove the injuring object. Using a number 915 Tech spiral cement tool, probe the injury to determine its angle. Here, the angle does not exceed 25 degrees. Therefore, a one-piece radial seal can be used in this application. A two-piece system must be used if the angle exceeds 25 degrees beyond perpendicular. Go to the inside of the tire and measure the injury. Here you can see our injury measures 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters. Therefore, a 292 Tech radial seal must be used. Outline the injured area approximately 1 inch or 25 millimeters beyond the edge of the repair unit using a Tech marking crayon. Apply number 704A Tech Rub-O-Matic aerosol to the injured area. While the area is still moist, use the Tech 933 scraper to remove silicones, lubricants, or other contaminating substances. The important thing to remember is a large enough area must be cleaned to accept the radial seal cap. Removing these substances prevents contamination of the buffing wheel during the mechanical buffing process. Using an RH-106 rubber hog buffing wheel on a Tech low RPM air buffer, mechanically buff within the previously outlined area. This process ensures proper adhesion of the repair unit to the tire by creating a clean, smooth, velvet textured area. Proper eye protection must be used. Use a Tech 272 carbide cutter on a Tech S1035 500 RPM air drill. Following the direction of the injury, cut from the inside out using a clockwise rotation. Repeat this process at least 3 times. To prevent rubber scorching, a tool with a maximum of 1200 RPMs must be used. The air drill is equipped with a Tech S1045 quick change chuck and proper adapter. The quick change chuck is used for fast replacement of rasps, cones, and cutters. This procedure must also be repeated 3 times from the outside of the tire to assure proper injury preparation. Excessive drilling can result in a hole that is too large. Once the injury preparation has been completed, vacuum the skived area, as well as the inner liner surface to remove steel shavings, buffing dust, and other contaminants. Also, vacuum the exterior area. Now, clean the area using number 704 Rubomatic on a clean, lint-free cloth. Clean thoroughly to assure a contaminant-free surface. Allow 3 to 4 minutes for Rubomatic to dry. Allow for additional drying time if weather is humid. With the applicator brush, apply number 760 Tech Chemical Vulcanizing Fluid to the skived area, as well as the previously cleaned area. Allow the vulcanizing fluid to dry completely. Extended drying time may be needed under adverse weather conditions. Once the vulcanizing fluid has thoroughly dried, position the wire puller in the middle of the black portion of the radial seal stem. Then remove the blue poly from the stem. Now, remove the remaining blue poly backing and reposition it onto the cap as shown. This prevents the cushion gum from prematurely sticking or adhering to the previously cemented area of the tire while the unit is being pulled into place. This also allows you to handle the repair unit without contaminating the gray cushion gum. Hold the repair unit horizontally so the vulcanizing fluid will not run on the gray cushion gum. Apply Tech Chemical Vulcanizing Fluid to the wire puller and tapered portion of the stem. 1 brush width of fluid is also applied to the leading edge of the gray gum. For proper alignment of the repair unit to the bead of the tire, position the cap in your hand so that the bead arrow is pointed toward either bead of the tire. Immediately, push the end of the wire puller through the skived area. From outside of the tire, grasp the wire puller and carefully pull the radial seal through the tire, making sure the bead arrow remains in the proper position. When the wire puller pulls off the end of the stem, grasp the stem with pliers and carefully pull the stem through the tire. Once the radial seal is in place, press the repair unit down with your thumb. Then stitch the radial seal cap down with a stitcher from the center out to remove any air that might be trapped between the cushion gum and the inner liner of the tire. Finally, remove the blue poly, thumb, stitch. Repeat this process on the other side of the repair. Stitch in the opposite direction, then remove the clear poly. Next, go to the outside of the tire and cut off the radial seal flush with the surface of the tire. The radial seal is now properly in place. Whenever the radial seal stem falls within a tread groove, you may want to use a regroover to replace the original tread design. When repairing a tube-type tire, it is important to use Tech tire talc on the repair area. This prevents the edge of the gray cushion gum from adhering to the tube. When repairing tubeless tires, as we are in this case, security coat should be applied to the exposed buffed area to assure good air retention. In a short time, security coat will turn black, indicating that it is completely dry. The radial seal system eliminates time-consuming major section repairs. Radial seal repairs will last the life of the tire.